The man who's charged with hiring the next U.S. men's national team manager is, of course, Matt Crocker. Hasn't taken over the sporting director job on a full-time basis yet. He will in early August, but he's already working, and he had some interesting comments in a Q&A with the U.S. Soccer website. Here's what we've got. Quote, interviews in June, narrow the list of candidates, engage in midsummer. Aim is to have a new coach in place by the end of the summer, although it's possible club circumstances could impact the timeline. I think we got, a couple mix-ups in there. What we have is a list of candidates who, based on our initial research, we think will fit the profile. We already have had a number of conversations with some of the candidates. Okay, Herc. Matt Crocker seems to be spilling some beans, or maybe a bean. Something, nothing, or everything from these comments.
Something. I don't know how much truth I find in them. Maybe it's a game of take them off your scent. Now,
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly. I think I know exactly where you're going, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, and I like what Crocker's doing here. And listen, he also mentioned in this interview that Anthony Hudson would be the guy leading the team most likely, not only in the Nations League, but the CONCACAF Gold Cup. So come August is when we may see somebody at the helm. And it got me thinking of why you would do that, right? And then now this makes sense, right? What do you have to gain if you're the new U.S. men's national team coach and you don't have time to work with the players and you come into these first two tournaments? What do you have to gain? Very little, right? This is a team that already came off winning 2 tournaments last summer. They won with 2 different teams, by the way, the Nations League and the Gold Cup. So don't give him that responsibility or give that person that responsibility, because the only thing that can happen is they lose, thing goes awry, and there's more pressure on this coach.
That is such a scared approach. That is if you think you've got the right guy, you go with conviction, you hire him, and you let him work, and you say, hey, if you fail in the Gold Cup with the B team, we'll eat the criticism.
Yeah, U.S. soccer is not about eating the criticism. Now I'm just telling you what I think, my theory. Okay, it doesn't mean that's what they're doing. This is what makes sense to me. Whether you agree with it or not, that's a different question. But this is more of take them off my scent type of deal. Not giving pressure, not putting more pressure on the eventual coach. I feel, whether we agree with it or not, different discussion, but I think this is what's going on.
Yeah, you saw it's an interview with the U.S. Soccer website, right? So then when I see that, I'm like, to be honest, it reads a little bit like a press release at that point.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I think that's what you're getting at before. And in a press release, every word matters, right? You don't put anything in a press release unless there's a point. So when you talk about throwing people off the scent, when he says club, and that club might, push the timeline on the hire back, well, it makes you think, okay, well, he's not talking about Jesse Marsch, right? Because Jesse Marsch right now doesn't have a job. I think that's what may be happening here. I think, the toothpaste is out of the tube. The cat is starting to get out of the bag in terms of the Jesse Marsch links. And whether it's because they haven't really gotten that far with Jesse Marsch, or they don't want it to appear that they've gotten that far with Jesse Marsch when when Crocker still hasn't even taken over. I think that may be what they're doing here, saying, hey, give us some time, pump the brakes on all the talk, including Jesse Marsch, because we're going to do our due diligence. Is that what you think?
Yes, and also, they could already, not saying this happened, they could have already landed on Jesse Marsch and just saying, well, we still need to interview others because we need to make it look like an expanded search, like we actually overturned each stone, like we were actually looking at other people. And listen, man, maybe there was a discussion with Jesse Marsch. I'm not saying this happened, but Jesse Marsch's like, okay, I will take the team over on this date. And it didn't coincide with the 2 tournaments that we were talking about.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.